At the White Tiger Guild building, Baek Yoon-hoo sat in his chair, deep in thought. How is it possible for a hunter to keep getting stronger? He wondered. He also pondered how much it would cost to recruit him. Trying to recruit Sung Jinwoo seemed pointless, but there were still other ways, like forming connections with talented hunters. It was time for Plan B. He then received the list of hunters who would participate in the search and destroy mission. Baek Yoon-hoo's eyes widened in shock when he realized Sung Jinwoo's name was not on the list. The scene shifted to Goto Ryuji's apartment. He was on the phone, informing someone about an exceptionally talented hunter in South Korea. The person on the other end chuckled softly. Surely he is not as strong as you, Mr. Goto. However, Goto replied, I'm not so sure about that. Sugimoto Ryuji then asked, what's the name of this hunter? Sung Jinwoo. He underwent a second awakening and was just evaluated as an S rank. It turned out that Sung Jinwoo was not participating in the Jeju Island raid. His name was not on the list. Goto was shocked. Why isn't his name there? There are only 6 other S-rank hunters from South Korea on the team. The chairman must be insane for not including a hunter as strong as Sung Jinwoo in this raid team. No need to worry. In total, there will be 16 S-rank hunters participating. Everything will be fine. Halasan Bangnokdem. A crater lake that sits atop Halasan, or Mount Hala. The name translates to White Deer Lake. A monstrous figure spoke. We must leave this island. There is no more food. The children have begun devouring each other. There is nothing left to feed our kingdom. We need stronger soldiers. Soldiers powerful enough to lead our kingdom. For the sake of our kingdom. Make the enemies who stand in our way tremble in fear. You must grow stronger. You must become stronger. Consume whatever you can, and grow stronger, my child. The scene shifts to Sung Jinwoo's residence. It was the first time his mother had returned home after years of being bedridden in the hospital. The house was in complete disarray. Suho scolded his younger sibling, but their mother only smiled and said, let's clean up together. She then asked if there had been any news about their father while she was asleep. He said no. Jinwoo wondered what his mother would say if she knew he was now following in his father's footsteps as a hunter. He is the reason I never wanted to leave this old apartment. Even though you now have enough money to move. He is the reason we are still here. Even after all these years of his disappearance, she's still waiting, hoping he will return one day. Know that his mother was finally home. Jinwoo found himself hesitating about the raid on Jeju Island. The association was now discussing the evolution of the ants. During the first raid, the ants had a relatively normal appearance, though still massive in size. By the third search and destroy mission, the ants had changed. They now stood upright like humans, their heads had shrunk for better mobility, and they could use all 4 limbs as hands. It had only taken 2 years for them to alter their characteristics. But that wasn't the end. The latest images revealed ants with human-like postures and wings. And of course, they could fly. Even seasoned hunters would flee from facing such magical monsters. However, some retired hunters had gathered their courage to join the upcoming raid. Since Jinwoo did not participate in the raid this time, he received a lot of criticism on social media. He didn't care about the hate comments, but he was worried that Jin-ah might be affected by it. Jinwoo received a call from Jinhoo. He asked if Jinhoo was still staying at the motel, but Jinhoo had already gotten a new apartment. Jinhoo then told him that he had secured an office and invited Jinwoo to check it out. Now, the two of them were at the office. We need an office to create our guild, Jinhoo said. But this place is the best choice because it's close to your apartment. However, Jinwoo questioned whether the office was too big for just the two of them. Jinhoo refuted, saying, we need at least 3 hunters to form a guild. A guild master, a vice guild master, and an employee. Then, Jinhoo mentioned that someone was looking for you. It was a foreigner. They want you to call them. They'll be in Korea until July 17. Suddenly, Jinwoo felt something. And in an instant, he vanished, swapping places with his shadow somewhere else. In a dark alley, a woman was being threatened by a man. He intimidated her with a knife in his hand. Suddenly, Jinwoo appeared behind the man. Why are you doing this? He asked. The man scoffed and replied, are you trying to lecture me? I do it just for fun. Then, without hesitation, he attempted to attack Jinwoo, now facing him directly. He sneered. When I set my sights on someone weaker than me, I get the urge to harass. But Jinwoo responded calmly, I can somewhat relate to that. Once you get a taste though, returning to normal life isn't easy. In an instant, the man's leg was slashed by Jinwoo, causing him writhian pain. Jinwoo spoke coldly. It would have been nice to go home before it got so dark. Turn yourself in before midnight. If you want to live, that is. Then, Jinwoo attached one of his shadows to the man to monitor him and gave a chilling command. If he doesn't turn himself in before midnight, kill him. Tomorrow's the day. The Jeju Island raid begins. The next day, the helicopter carrying the hunters flew toward Jeju Island. The scene shifted to Godo, who was sitting while holding his phone. On his hand, there was a faint imprint of Jinwoo's palm from their previous training session. He thought to himself, at that moment, I think I felt death. But he quickly tried to shake off the feeling, convincing himself that he was just being overly sensitive. To be continued.